So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong.
And now it is my great privilege to introduce to you all the President of Ukraine, our friend, Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
Our feelings over the last 20 days. Our full-scale operation of Russian Federation after 8 years old fightings and Donbass region. Can you only imagine that on 4 a.m. each of you start hearing explosions? Justin, can you imagine hearing your children hear all these severe excuses? Bombing of airport, bombing of the tens of other cities as your wonderful country. Can you imagine that? Cruise missiles being falling down and your children asking you what happened. You're receiving the first news. Which infrastructure? Objects have been bombed and destroyed by Russian Federation. And you know how many people already died? Can you only imagine what words? How can you explain to your children? You just full-scale aggression just happened. You know that this is war to elevate your state in the country. You know that this is the world to subjugated people. On second day you see notifications. Forms of military equipment and entering your country, crossing the border. They're entering cities. They given such. Encircling cities and the start to shell still. Neighborhoods. They still buildings. They destroyed kindergarten like in our city, like in city of Akturka. Imagine that someone is taking speech laying siege to Vancouver. Can you just imagine that for a second and all? These people who are left in such cities? And this is exactly the situation that our city of Maria who is suffering, and they are left without heat or hide, without means of communicating, would be almost without food, without water, seeking shelter in their shelters were just not. Every day you see memorandum is about the number of casualties, including women and children. Currently have 97 children that died. Can you imagine? Famous center. It was hit by a Russian. But of course, anyone. But this is our reality in which we have to complain to see where the next moment takes you. Freedom Square. The place where, the Holocaust occurred, and it has been bought by the Russians. I mean, imagine Canadian care facilities have been similarly. Our buildings and memorials being bombed today. A number of families have died. Every night as the Russians are shelling from all kinds of bacteria. From tanks. They're hitting civilian infrastructure being built. At a fire starting at the nuclear power plant. And that's exactly what happened in our country each that they are. They're taking down the Ukrainian reflex. Can you imagine someone taking down your Canadian flags in Montreal and other Canadian cities? I know that you all support Ukraine. Ukraine. Been friends with you, Justin. But also I would like you to understand it. And I would like you to feel this way you feel every day. We want to be victorious. We want to reveal for the shape of life. Can you imagine when you call your friendly nation and you ask, please close this guy. Close the door. Please stop the how many more those missiles have to put on our cities until you do this and make this happen. And they express their deep concerns about that situation when we talked with. Some people are talking about trying to the destination. And at the same time most of our aspiration to become members. We also do not hear clear answers. Sometimes we don't see. Obviously it's a dire straits. But it also allowed us to see who our real friends are over the last 20 days and as well 8 previous years. I am sure that you want to see clearly what's going on. I'm addressing all of you. Canada has always been steadfast in their support world parking to Ukraine and Ukrainians. And I'm sure this will continue to help your systems. Our earliest request. You supply us with the military since with humanitarian assistance to you in the post-severe sanctions, serious sanctions at the same time. Unfortunately, we did not bring them to the world. But you can see that our cities, like many other cities, are not protected. And just like your series are protected, you can see that it's being shelved. Only, it used to be, trying to say that you need to do to Russian to protect Ukraine. And try by doing that, Europe from Russian threat. They're destroying everything. Memorial complexes, hospital, complex already killed 97. Which means cannot save life to save like. Canada is leading the effort. I'm hoping that other countries which are the same, we're asking for more of your leadership. And please take more rating part in these efforts. Just as friends of our Ukraine friends the truth, at least understand how important it is to close our airspace from Russian missiles and Russian aircraft. I hope you can understand increase efforts. You can. Increase sanctions social so they receive a single day to fund their war effort. It's commercial and should not be working in Russia. It's better than many, many other countries. That this attack on its own to an L. A Lakers training people and there is nothing else to say. This is their main objective. It's actually against people. It's an attempt to destroy everything that Ukrainians. It's an attempt to destroy our future, to destroy the nation. Are you Canadians? Very well, all this. Please do not stop your efforts. Please expand your efforts to bring back peace. You know what I believe? And I know that you can do this part of the work. Jointly, I'm sure that I would like to also ask you in kind of some historical moment. We need your practical, so we hope that we are. Practical steps to show that you are part of this Ukrainian history. Please remember, this is a practical, modern-day history of Ukraine. They want to live. We want them to have peace, so. Grateful to everyone in the Parliament of Canada, present to every Canadian citizens. I'm very grateful to Justin. I am grateful to the Canadian people, and I'm confident that together we overcome and will be victorious to Ukraine. Thank you to Canada. Yeah.
Stereo part?
Yeah, Nick.
Whoa, open the fucking window. Jesus Christ, open the fucking window.